Welcome everyone to our Study Abroad podcast series. So, today we have Mallika, who is from Jamshedpur, and now she is in UK. So, we'll be knowing about her journey from Jamshedpur to UK. Welcome, Mallika.
Hi, thank you for having me on this platform.
So, Mallika, when was the very first time you thought that there is something like study abroad concept?
I had heard about this concept from a lot of friends when I was in school, college, but I never thought like it'll be possible because the expense plus I come from a middle class family. I'm not very well to do family that I can support myself financially during the studies and then getting a job, sustaining myself. It's like for the Indian currency and how the economy is like fluctuating from time to time. That's why I thought like, okay, we'll see whatever happens. Maybe I can do a job after my bachelor's and then save something for myself and then go for masters. This was the initial idea, but I never thought like, yes, that after my graduation itself I'll be preparing and taking some time off and then I will be going for this masters option. And yeah, that's how it all went through.
So, the very first time you know about this study abroad was at like through some friends or like who?
So basically, when I was in my university, like in my undergrad, I did my undergrad from St. Xavier's College, Ranchi, and my one of my friend, she was in my school, and she was my junior itself. So she went for her undergrad in Canada, and when I got to know that she went to Canada, and obviously I couldn't meet her last time because she had all the plans set up and everything. So I was asking, how's the journey been? It's new. And plus, a student who is going directly like out of the country at such a young age for their bachelor's, it's a lot to process, it's a lot to take in, a lot of new cultures to settle into, and all those things. So I felt like, oh, I had this dream. So how should I even go reach approach this dream, and how should I take steps forward? Because even I am about to end my undergrad in Xavier's. So then she said, like, yeah, few steps are there here and there, but for Canada, it wasn't possible for me because it was very short notice, and I was already in my final year then. So then this happened that I think after 6 months or so, my ex-roommate in my hostel from Rachi itself, she was elder to me. She went for her master's in the UK, and it was like another chance, another opportunity that I got to learn from her that, okay, like, can you help me out too? I want to go. And then she said, like, yeah, there are a lot of processes, steps that if you're interested in, a lot of money factor comes into play, and you have to consider how your financial situation is. You have to put a lot of things in risk to go, especially coming from a middle class family, and all those things were there. And that's how that friend of mine who went to the UK, who came to UK, she helped me like guide through all the processes and steps, how to like create that mindset. Okay, if you want to actually apply for the universities in the UK, what idea you should have. The academics is very different from what we have in India. So all those things, because what happens is you put in a lot of energy, you put in a lot of money, put so much time and effort, and after you reach to UK and your expectations and reality is absolutely different, it'll hit very badly. And for masters, it's only 1 year's program, so you don't have a lot of time to take your time and settle in. You have to be quick on your foot and everything. So yep, that's how I got to know about this thing and
Sure,
I
sure.
processed.
And how many colleges did you apply to for your study abroad application?
S- Yeah, so I applied to around 4 or 5 colleges. One was Harriet Watt in Scotland, one was East Anglia, then Aston University, Brunel was there, and then a few other universities in the districts here in the UK itself. So yeah.
And how did you choose this university?
So basically, the processing time, the response time for these colleges when they will give the offer letter to us, whether they have accepted our offer letter or not, it was around 1 week to 2 weeks. The first I got a response from was Harriet Watt. I got rejected for that because it was like very difficult to get into. And yeah. And then I got response from Aston University. And for Aston University, I think I had to write a very lengthy SOP, and it was tailored into a lot of different question segments. Then I had to give reference letters as well from my undergrad college, that is St. Xavier's, from the professors. And then I was also doing part-time during my college years. So I got a reference letter from my employer as well.
Sure,
So
sure.
that's how everything.
And you chose the Aston University, like from any other offer you had? Like, do you have, I mean, you had any other choice to choose, or it was like the only offer you got from five, six colleges?
So I got Aston University, and I was like, the reviews and the ranking for Aston University was coming in tier one colleges, and the fees was comparatively like uh within my budget range for my bank loan, education loan, everything that I was looking and planning into. And what happened was, when I had already passed that application stage for Aston University, after that I got, like, after 1 month or so, I got response from East Anglia and Brunel as well. I got accepted in those as well, but by that time I had already processed. So it's a lot of, like a different route to follow if I again ask for refund and all those things. So I don't want to go through so much of hassle. So I was like, Aston University was really good compared to any other colleges there. So I was going ahead with that.
Sure, sure. So I think once they give the offer, they give you like some days to deposit like a initial fee,
Yeah,
and that's
to
where
lock the seat.
to
Yeah,
lock the
to
seat
lock.
so that they can
Yeah,
release the seat for next person if you're not taking it and things like
yeah,
that. And this is how they
yeah.
fill their seats as well as it's like whoever gives
Mm,
you the response faster gets their seat filled
yeah,
first, probably. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's how I think people choose
Just
college. Sure, sure. And
yeah.
did you also apply for any scholarship with the application, or you got any scholarship with the offer?
So there were a few scholarships that Aston University provides, that is Global Ambassador and few other, I can't recall the names of those, but there were a few other scholarships as well. And it's like you get maybe 10,000 pounds of your university fees, or 5,000 pounds, depends on different categories. So I had applied for, I think, all the scholarships that Aston University provided. And that time, the results declaration for the scholarships that the students they chose was like, we weren't informed if we were rejected from the scholarship. Only the person who won the scholarship would be informed about it. So we were clueless about it, but we had a this international WhatsApp group that was created by the university and some students as well, in Facebook and WhatsApp. So we joined that platform, and over there we got to know, like, oh, this student got a scholarship or something like that. So yeah, I didn't get any scholarship from there, but I so there's a process that happened, like that time, at that point of time when I was applying in the for the scholarships in the university. I was going forward with the education loan, and I was like, okay, fine, I didn't get any scholarships. Now I have to repay my education loan and stuff, and it's a lot of process, everything. But I think around, like, after 1 month or so, I got to know about another scholarship, which is not related to Aston University, but it is a state funded scholarship, and I applied for that. And obviously, I had no hopes, because getting a scholarship itself is very difficult, and it's like luck also as well. And a lot of stages are there to pass, like interview stages and stuff. So I just applied, and yeah, I had that thing in my mind, and I just left it like that for a few months, and then I was going ahead with the other processes. So
Sure, sure. So what happened to this government funded scholarship application? You got some or
yeah, yeah. So basically, what happened was, I applied it around during the month of April, and April 2023, and that time was the deadline phase. And I applied after 1 month or so. See, everything was email, like all the communication were email based, so we didn't know what is going on. We just uploaded our documents and stuff. I think 1.5 months passed, and then we got an email saying that you have been shortlisted for the interview level. And in the interview level, you have like two steps. First step would be like cross verification of all the legal documents that the scholarship required. And the second step would be once you clear all these stages of the verification of these documents, then we go to the interview stage. And the interview stage would then be conducted by civil servants in based in Jharkhand, and they will be conducting this. They will have this panel, and they will ask you based on your course that you're going to apply for and all those stuff. So yeah, I went for this first step. First step was getting these documents verified. And I went there, and it was a very exhaustive process because getting all the legal government documents done, prepared, up to date was a task. And that happened. And the same day, we had the interview itself. So for the interview, I had to prepare a PPT, a presentation basically based on what my interests are. Why do I want to apply for these courses and university? Why specifically this university or something like that? And you can cover that topic broadly. You can cover that aspect very like touch upon some topics and present your idea like why do you want to actually study abroad and stuff. So I did the same. I am studying human resource in management and human resource management, and I prepared the presentation for that. And I in the presentation I said that like this is the subject I'm interested in because anyways I was looking for MBA colleges in India before before applying for study abroad colleges. So anyways, if I had to go for an MBA, I would choose HR as a subject, and I was interested in that to study. So I chose human resource management here as well, and I prepared the presentation on that. Why do I want to do? What is the future scope, and why do I want to explore this field and stuff like that. So I did that, and then I think um the results declaration was supposed to be given by, I think it took around 2 months or so to declare the results from themselves. The government declared. They sent us an email in a PDF, and there was like all the candidate names were given, and in that there was a list of students who were selected. Like from each, there were different categories, and under each categories there were the students who were selected, and then there were waitlisting students as well. So if anyone does not have the offer letter currently, can pass it on to the student, to the waitlisting student who has the offer letter. So that's how the process was. And I think after that we had the felicitation ceremony in Ranchi, and the Hemant Soren, our CM, was giving out the prizes and the certificates, and everything happened. So I did get the scholarship. So that's how it happened.
So this scholarship is like a partial scholarship or full scholarship?
It's a fully funded scholarship. It covers our tuition fees completely and our living expenses as well. Now it depends that like how we want to spend our living expenses. Obviously, we are accountable for a lot of things. We have to keep our receipts. We have to show it to the government authorities and everything. That is there. That will be there. But I think for students who got admission in London, they got a specific amount because London is more expensive than any other city in UK. So they got a separate living expense amount, and the other students outside London got a separate living expense. So we got that, and based on that, we had to decide like how much are we supposed to spend on accommodation, how much we are supposed to spend on like different allocation of the amount was given for like visa, plane expense, those.
Sure, sure. And this amount is given to you as a reimbursement or is it given upfront?
So initially what happened because my I got the offer for last year September intake, and all this process, everything was happening before September. Now the thing is I was supposed to come. I didn't want to defer my seat. So and I didn't have the time and any reason to defer my seat. And I had already taken a gap year after my graduation. So I just wanted to get this done with, and I wanted to continue my master's. So what I did was, initially, whatever savings we had, we tried to book the flight tickets from that, the visa at least. Visa itself takes around like 3 to 4 weeks of processing time and then delivering. Then you go to the visa office and stuff. So all those things are included. So it'll take around 2 to 3 months of time overall to book the flight tickets, visa, passport, all the legalities clear, IHS fees, IHS that is like the health insurance fees getting done, and all those things. Then TB test results, we had to get those also because we are moving to a different country. So that's there, and all these things I paid by myself, and then I had those receipts and everything. And when I was supposed to get the living expense cost and all the other costs included, miscellaneous costs and stuff, so I showed it to the government authorities, and then they said like, okay, these will be refunded, like reimbursed to us in few weeks or so. So yeah,
Okay, okay, sure. And which flight did you book?
I booked Emirates. I booked it from Delhi, and from Delhi to Dubai, and from Dubai there was a layover in Dubai, and from Dubai to Birmingham.
Okay, okay. And from Birmingham to your college is like very like close, the airport to the college.
Not much. It is 30 to 40 minutes by cab. So coincidentally, what happened was one of another, like my flatmate, I got to meet my flatmate in WhatsApp itself through normal communication, and she said that she's on the same flight as me. So we met in the airport, like Dubai airport, because she was from Calcutta, and from Calcutta she went to Dubai, and we met in the Dubai airport, and then we went to Birmingham. So we took the same cab, and it took 30 to 40 minutes to the university. So we directly came to the accommodation itself.
You didn't choose Kolkata as your starting destination, starting location.
Yeah, for me, I thought like when I was checking, the prices were a bit expensive than what, and plus, Delhi airport is more like international. Like it had the most, I don't know like how to say. It's just
Number
the
of flights.
price variation that was, yeah, number of flights and everything. I think when I booked my flight, it was G20 that was happening in Delhi. So a lot of flights were cancelled last moment. A lot of flights were rescheduled as well. So I think yeah, it was just cheaper, just the price variation.
Sure, sure, sure. And how did you book your accommodation?
So initially, like I had no idea about my accommodation because the friend I said earlier in the podcast, she was living in a different city than me. So she had no idea how to do these stuff. So I just thought like let's go because I'm moving out of the country for the first time and traveling alone and everything. So I would just choose university accommodation. That would be the safest option for me. And it'll be the best option. Obviously, later on when I finish my tenancy, then I can move out. I have to move out to somewhere else. So I went to the university website, and over there we saw like a list of accommodations that comes under university. You can say there are a lot of like companies here, agencies basically we can say, and under those we have a lot of student accommodations. So we have to show our offer letter and our admission letter basically to the accommodation company, agency, whatever, and they then give us the rooms based on that. So there is different rooms for undergrad students and different rooms for master students, because undergrad students will be living there in that particular building for a longer period of time. So yeah, accordingly that happened. So I booked it from basically the university website.
Sure, sure. And any hiccups in the visa process?
Not really. Touch wood, it didn't happen really, but I was scared about, because we saw a lot of, we have this idea like when we do the research, a lot of YouTube videos shows that visa got rejected due to this reasons and stuff. So that I had that skepticism in my mind, but it didn't happen like that. So I think it took around 2.5 weeks for me to get my visa, and I had to go to VFS Kolkata.
Sure, sure. And you had your application process in which you had to write IELTS, GRE, TOEFL, etc.
Application process and like just the IELTS part you're asking, or
Yeah, I'm asking like what all tests you had to write and what other documents you had to put
okay.
for each
So
application.
for the Okay, so for each application, I think different universities will have different uh, documents. Most of them I had to give was SOP, different questions for different universities, and SOP and reference letter, and that was the two main documents. And then my financial statement as well, that like, because that time initially I didn't get the scholarship then, and I didn't have the idea that I would be getting a scholarship, so I was showing the bank loan and stuff and education loan that I earlier referred to. And yeah, that's the basic documents that would be required for an application process. And
The English test?
I didn't, yeah, actually I didn't have to give the English test because in UK there's this thing that, because the Cambridge University organizes IELTS exam if I'm not wrong. So what happens is, like, if they see that your marks, if a student's marks in English in the last 5 years of education is up to the mark, like they have different bands. For example, if I'm coming from an ICSE board, if I have received like more than 80 plus in my board's exam, then they will waive off the IELTS exam. So that's how it happened for me as well. So when I entered all my marks and everything, 10th marks, 12th marks and everything, they said that I don't have to give IELTS exam. So they will tell you basically, like, when you get an offer from a university, we get two types of offer letters. That is, one is conditional, unconditional. So I got an unconditional letter at the first go itself. So conditional would be if a student has to give IELTS for some reason, or they have to provide more other documents as such, then they get that. Get that.
Sure, sure, sure. Okay. Next, once you landed in UK, what was your first initial shocks, surprises that you encountered?
So initially it was, I think, I would say the price, because in my mind we were constantly comparing the price, like, okay, this is like £7, that is 700 rupees. So here when we went for shopping, food and vegetable shopping and stuff, for groceries and all this stuff, so the lady's finger we get in India for the for making the vegetable, it was like £7 to £8, and that is like 700 to 800 rupees in India for like what, 250 grams or 500 grams. It was very shocking for us, because it was like, it's better we just eat eggs, because over here the non-veg food is more cheaper than the vegetarian food. So that was one cultural shock we had. Second was, I think, everyone over here, like, it was, we are not used to this coming from India. Everyone says like thank you, sorry in every other sentence. So that was one cultural shock. So slowly we got adapted to it, because obviously we were meeting so many people, professors in the university and stuff. So they were very polite, very sweet and nice. So that was a very new thing for us.
So calling people by their first name, like the professors, was also a bit of a problem.
Yeah, it was initially, but when, even for our colleagues, because we in the batch, in the university batch, for example, in my class, there are a lot of people, a lot of students are there from different phases of life, and some of them are, they have like a big age gap from me, and some of them are younger from me. But okay, a younger one calling me by my name didn't affect me much, but when I had to call someone who is much elder to me, it was a bit off to me. So I was like, should I say, if I have to say in Hindi or something like that, should I give him respect in Hindi? And then I was like, should I call him just by name and something? So there was a confusion initially, but then everything was fine, because everyone was pretty chill about it, because everyone had to do the same thing. So yeah, it was a bit of cultural shock, yes, to the professors especially.
So my next question is, how did you cope up with the cooking, cleaning, laundry, etc.? Were you used to it? Did you learn it? What was the transition like?
Okay, so that's interesting, because so this happened, or what, I used to live in hostel in my undergrad years, and I was very much used to washing, doing my own laundry, cleaning and stuff. Cooking was a bit of a task because initially we were excited about cooking. Like, okay, we didn't have a lot of pressure from the classes. Like, we didn't have a lot of like homework to do or something like that. So initially we had all the time in the world to sit and cook 3 times, and we were excited because we were making new friends. We were inviting people. So we were like, that was an exciting part of it, that okay, let's try this recipe today, let's try this out, because we had to obviously sustain ourselves and all. So 3 times a day we had the time to cook and everything, and then slowly we adapted to that change. But it got pressurizing when the deadline phase came, and no one had the time to cook 3 times. Okay, so we had to do meal preps. We had to look for different videos where we had to like cook a day before, like a day earlier, and then store it in the tiffins and then like sustain ourselves. So this is how it went for like 1 month or so. Worst case would be like we just had like frozen pizzas and Maggies and instant noodles and stuff. So that was the worst case. But during the deadline phase, because everyone was looking for part times, everyone was doing their dissertation, and no one, not dissertation, like assignments and stuff. So no one had the time actually. So that was a bit of a task. But I think cleaning, laundry, and everything was bit okay for me. One shocker was that after paying like so many things in the accommodation and stuff, we got most of the facilities except doing the laundry. So just getting our laundries done was like £6 more, washing and drying, and we had to pay it every time. So it was a pain for us because like then we shifted to, rather than getting our laundries done in the washer and dryer, we just got a bucket for ourselves, and like we were washing it in our places itself in bits and pieces every week, little by little. And then it was like we have to save money. We cannot spend £6 in doing laundry. So yeah, that was the thing. It was, you'll slowly, any student who goes there, like they will slowly get adapted to it. So yeah,
So it's £6 for every load or every week?
every load, every load. It's just washing 3 to 4 pounds. And sometimes what happened initially when we came to the university, like accommodation, sometimes the machines would be faulty and we didn't know. So it would be like it did the washing, but it's not drying now. So where to dry like 7 kgs of clothes now? Because it would take so much of load, because we are paying like 3 to 4 pounds, and it had the capacity of 7 kg, 5 to 7 kgs of like clothes altogether to wash. But it did wash, but after that it didn't dry. So again and again we used to like risk money, and I was like, please let the clothes dry. We don't have space in our flats and everything. So it was a journey. Yeah.
Sure, sure, sure. What about part-time jobs and internships you did?
Okay. So initially, I think I didn't get any part time last year, 2023, because I was very much overwhelmed with all the assignments, and the education system was very different and everything. So I was still getting used to it. And during January 2024, when I had the time, when the second semester started, I started looking for jobs, and I got a job in Tesco Extra. So Tesco is basically like a retail store, like a supermarket kind of a thing. And over there, it was a Tesco cafe where I worked as a kitchen team member. And it was very hectic, honestly, because I was absolutely not used to work 8 to 9 hours a day at a stretch without any break. And we do get breaks, but it is just for like 15 minutes or half an hour for food breaks, and you're like continuously on your foot. So it was like too very hectic, very chaotic. So I did that job for like around 3 to 4 months. And then my third semester was about to start and my exams was going to happen. So I was like, I might not be able to continue this. We'll look for another part-time job later on. So that happened in the first half of the year. And then I think when my third semester started, I joined a college internship. I got a college internship. It was research-based internship for my dissertation, and basically I had to work with this company. I had to engage with like the stakeholders and stuff. And yeah, it's basically like an experience that we get working in a UK based company, how the ethics work, how the business principles work here. Everything was there. So that happened. So yeah.
Sure, sure. How was your job hunting, part-time job hunting, internship hunting process? Did you use LinkedIn or other job portals? What was the experience
Yeah,
like?
so I did use LinkedIn and other stuff, but I think the best platform would be for the part time. I'm saying for the part time, in local areas and everything would be their own website pages, because a lot of people do say Indeed and a lot of people do say other platforms as well. But honestly, I haven't got any response from there. So it didn't work out for me. It could be better for some other people. But um, what worked out for me was their own website pages, like any restaurant, anywhere. Either I used to go and give my CV in person, like print it out from the university library and go and hand it over in person, and like speak to them that, hey, I have experience working in hospitality sector and stuff like that. And then I like, oh, that it takes around like, you have to be patient for this, because some places give you a call within 1 week or so if they are really in need of a staff for part times, I'm saying. And some places they will take around 1 month or so and say like, we have a vacancy now, so you can come and give a trial shift over. So it was hectic, it was pressurizing, because um I was fully funded, as I said, that I was fully funded by the scholarship. But the other expenses, for example, friends' birthdays and uh, some other miscellaneous stuff here and there, if you want to travel to another different cities in the UK, all those things you have to be accountable for. And those extra expenses I just wanted to manage by myself, and that's why I was looking for the part-time. So it was good. It was a bit hectic, but it was good. But with, I think if a student is like properly dedicated towards it, that okay, within 2 months or so, I need to target like these many areas and these many industries I want to get a job into. So I think they can get it. It's just that you have to look for the right things and the right resources rather than, like looking all over. And
Sure,
I
sure.
think for college internship, yeah, and I think for college internship, it was a pact with my university itself that as a part of a program, as a part of our one of our subjects, AGA. AGA is like Aston Global Advantage, where we get in touch with different companies, like we become a part of them, and like we get to know how the system works, how the business works, basically. And whatever the student's courses. For example, if I'm coming from human resource management, then I will be working with the HR department of a company. And if the other student is working in operations or finance, then they will be working with the finance department of a company. So that's how it worked out for me. For dissertation, we had different options to choose from. Either we choose our own subjects for our research paper, or either we choose our like different companies were there for virtual internships. So this was the thing that I chose for my research paper, that I want to work with this company in the UK, and it was a construction-based company. And I worked with the HR business partner there, and I had some meetings online here and there, and got to know about a few policies, HR strategies, and stuff. And based on those data, I had to like perform everything, like whatever my research paper required.
Sure, sure, sure. So you are recommending job portal. What about the LinkedIn usage? Did you find anything through LinkedIn also, or nothing much in your case?
LinkedIn is very useful, honestly, I would say, because I did get a lot of insight for my full-time jobs. I haven't started like actively applying it, because I was still occupied with my college internship and wrapping up a lot of stuff. But for my friends, what I've seen, like what I've experienced, they have got a lot of response from LinkedIn recruiters, and like the communication, the cold emailing and stuff we do on LinkedIn and texting and all those stuff regarding the company, like how interview process works, how the selection process works, and everything. All those information is available on LinkedIn. All you have to do is like do research continuously, patiently, and yeah, I think even I am looking forward to use LinkedIn to that stretch, for my full-time job search.
Sure, sure. What are your future goals, Malika?
I want to, like, in terms of job sector, like which industry I want to go in, yeah. So I want to go in project management and HR, either project management or HR, because I have experience in both of these things. And I worked with a lot of NGOs, and I was like in different positions there. Like I was working with an NGO, business entrepreneurship NGO, with my university itself, and I have some experience handling projects, kind of a couple of teams for different projects and all those stuff. So it's either project management or human resource.
Sure, sure. So coming to the very last question, Malika, what will be your advice to younger yourself, the aspirants from your hometown or India in general who wants to study abroad?
So first thing I would say is, I don't want to say anything very filmy or dreamy kind of a thing, but it is true what it is. Like, it is what it is, because for me it was like, okay, fine, even if you don't get the opportunity, you never know, right? Like, I never imagined that I would get a scholarship. It would be a fully funded scholarship that would, and everything like that. And what I was doing is, I used to randomly watch YouTube vlogs of people studying abroad, and like their lifestyle and everything, and how their journey started. They also come from a middle class family, and what how they have achieved their dreams now. I've seen a lot of people coming from small cities like me. I come from Jamshedpur, so coming from a smaller city, and then you work in a multinational company like Google or Amazon or Apple or something like that in the US or Canada, Australia, anywhere. You know how that how that actually happens is, like, the first step would be like setting expectations for yourself, that you actually want to like achieve that dream for yourself. It won't be possible. You have to have patience. You can't be like, okay, after bachelor's I'm going to apply for masters, and if you get rejected also, you never know, what if you get a better opportunity, a work opportunity, when you start working in an industry. So it's like it's an unexpected thing. And I would say that's one advice that I want to give to my younger self, that I should have I can I'm still am young. I'm not very old or stuff like that, but I would say that dream as much as you can, because there's no limit, there's no rule book, nothing like that. So you can dream of becoming an astronaut itself, coming from an arts background or something. That's very vague though, but still, just saying. So it's on our hands, whatever you want to dream. And whatever we think, whatever we consume, the environment we consume, the more positivity we consume from others. So more growth you will have as a person. So I think that's one thing I wanted to say.
Sure, sure. Thank you very much, Malika, for your time and your insights. And it's good to hear about your scholarship journey. And we wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on this platform. It was nice, like, reflecting on all these things and all the journey that I have come across in the past years. It was good.
Okay, have a good
Thank you
day.
for having me.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.